What's up, everybody? Welcome tonight. Welcome. I'm your host, Peter Cimetti, creator, writer of King Cryptid. I'm coming to you guys tonight for some important news. Let's switch it up to this. All right, there we are. Man, oh man, before we get to it, though, this is some big news. Some big, exciting news. I've already given it away, though. It's in the pinned tweet. Right there. King Cryptid number 5 to 9 launches July 1st. And you guys can sign up for a launch notification right there. Now, it's going to launch on both Indiegogo and on alternacomics.com. If you are an Alterna Comics newsletter subscriber, you're all set. You don't have to worry about it. You're going to get a notification. If you'd rather back on Indiegogo, there you are. You can sign up right there. You'll get notified when it launches on July 1st at 9 o'clock Eastern. Otherwise, you will get an email. You'll probably get an email either way. I'm going to have to be perfectly honest with you. You'll get an email either way from the Alterna Comics newsletter notifying you of the launch. Now, I've got a lot of stuff to talk about tonight in terms of this and in terms of the last campaign, in terms of campaigns moving forward. And I'm going to eventually reiterate it on a second video on the Alterna channel, because it does have to do with Alterna as well. But there's a lot of stuff to talk about tonight, and we had a cancellation with a show that was previously going to be on. I was going to have Murph and Dirk on to kick off the hosting of the hosts. All right, so hosting the hosts is going to be an interview series that I do, where I have on various YouTube channel people who generally host other creators. They have them on to promote their projects, whatever it may be. I generally find that a lot of these people that have these channels, and I know what it's like because I've done this too, it's a hard time for you to get away and go elsewhere to promote and talk about your stuff and anything like that. You're usually the interviewer. They're very hardly ever the interviewee. So because of the fact that they're always booking people on their channel, so it's kind of hard to get away. So I figured, let me do this series. It'd be great to pick their brain, see where people are at in terms of why they get involved in doing this, why they start a YouTube channel, what do they like about talking with creators, why do they even have creators on to promote, all that kind of good stuff. I'm going to have several people on over the course of probably the next couple of months, but definitely a few this month. So we had a cancellation tonight, so instead I'm talking to you guys tonight about this, and this is very important. I was going to do a little video tomorrow during the day, but instead I figure let's spend an hour or so together live. It's easier live. I like it better live. Pre-recorded just drives me up the wall. It feels like I'm talking to myself, and I kind of am. But I like having you guys in the chat. So Blastbeat, thank you so much. It's stoked. Jaded One, what's up, Jaded One? Wayne is here too. Rex Dooms is huge. It's huge news. Just Backer says, be honest, Pete, how long did you stand there watching the monkeys? Oh man, I probably watched them for like 5 minutes. I love those little guys. Those musical monkeys at Salem Willows in Salem, Massachusetts. It's great. They're so old too. They play a lot of Herb Alpert and a lot of other great bands from around that time. They're just so wonderful. I love them. The top row though it's seen better years. They don't work anymore. They just kind of stand there. But I imagine them moving. I saw them moving at one point in time, but the mechanics of them, they still don't really move anymore. But I love those guys. I'm glad to see them back for a year or two or whatever it was. They weren't around. I think they're getting repairs or something. Leo, what's up, Leo? Hope you're doing well. Blastbeat Industries says email. Dr. Mask's Retro Elixir. What's up, Doc? Hope you're doing good. Thank you for joining tonight. Blue Teddy Narrations is here too. What's up, Blue Teddy? Gerald Lang. Hey, Gerald, how's it going? We got Brian here as well. Metal Movies and Brewskis. What's up? Hope you're doing well. Man, oh man, all you guys. Fantastic. Jefferson Roswell says, great news. Looking forward to the next King Cryptid books. So am I. So am I. Rex says, jealous about the monkeys. They're just great. They're magical. I love them. So I do have tonight, it's going to be a similar format to Comic Book Radio, though this is not a Comic Book Radio episode. But at the half-hour mark, I'm going to take a little break. I'm going to show 2, maybe 3 trailers because we don't show video ads anymore. Bad YouTube. I'm tired of them. So instead, let's see independent comic book trailers, and maybe trailers sometime, or videos for people's podcasts or YouTube channels, whatever it may be. I'd rather see that than whatever it is that they're playing on YouTube ads. Ugh. And I do this for free. I just want to specify that. None of these people, it's not a paid sponsorship, nothing like that. I just want to help put a little more eyes on some of the books out there. Same thing with comicbooknewsstand.com, which has almost 100 listings. We're getting there. See, Statistical Zero says, more King Cryptid, you say? This is the announcement where you are telling us you're actually delivering the books tomorrow? Oh, I wish. You guys think, you have to wait and you're in agony, and I sympathize on some level. But try dealing with like 30 solid issues in your head, and you just want to see them come to life right now. That's tough. I just want to share all the stories with you guys, and I want to have them right now, and then you have them at home, and you can enjoy them and read them, and we can converse about them. But it's going to take a little bit to get there, and then some, because I have a lot of stories to tell. Blast Beat says, I'm currently doing laundry. Oh, congrats to you. That's a good thing. Accomplishments on this Sunday. Colt King says, new covers look amazing. Thank you, man. Really appreciate that. The creative teams, these artists are doing such tremendous work. I can't wait till you guys see these stories. They're great. Gerald Lang says, did you receive my trailer via email, the 45-second one? Yes, I did, Gerald. Thank you. I'm going to work into the rotation. I've got about 30 of these, which is great. But it's going to take a while if I'm showing like 3 to 5 an episode. So it's going to take a while for everyone's to get seen. But I do have yours. Thank you very much, Gerald. Appreciate it. Mike Wilson, what's up? Hope you're doing well. Thank you for joining us tonight. All right. So, without further ado, if you haven't signed up yet, sign up now. Now, this is going to be on Indiegogo and on AlternaComics.com. Identical campaigns. There's going to be no secret perk on this one either. There's no true incentivization for you to back on Indiegogo either. I want to make that clear. So you're not going to be missing out whether you back on Alterna's site or you back on the Indiegogo site. There's going to be a slew of bonuses just like there were last time. There's going to be full moon and new moon specials just like there were last time. They're going to be on both campaigns. The thing here, I was really struggling with it because I wanted to tell people that they were going to get a poster or they were going to get something or whatever it is, but I didn't want people to think because they saw the Indiegogo pre-launch, I didn't want them to think they weren't going to get it on Alterna as well. You're going to get everything. It's identical stuff. So on this campaign here, you see this image. This is going to be an important image, this black and white image here by Nick Hunter. It's going to be on a glow-in-the-dark t-shirt. It's going to be on a trading card binder. It's going to be on the box of sealed trading cards for King Cryptid Series 2, which is going to be a 10-card set this time around with a sticker. Because it's we got the front and back covers coming back again. I've only revealed the front covers. The flip side, back side covers are going to be revealed when the campaign launches. We got to keep some secrets, along with a couple other pieces of merch. I'll tease a couple pieces of merch along the way in the next couple of weeks as we build up towards the launch. But I'm not going to show everything just yet. Right? That makes sense? Good. This image, like I said, is going to be important. He did a great job on it. I absolutely love it. It's going to make an amazing glow-in-the-dark t-shirt, I tell you. Same manufacturer, too, for the previous campaign with the glow-in-the-dark shirt. Beautiful shirts. They came out great. The glow-in-the-dark's awesome. I guarantee this is going to be an even better-looking glow-in-the-dark shirt. So we're going to have another collector box. So like I showed before, on one side, the spine, is there's going to be 5 collector boxes, and on one side of the spine, if you put all 5 together, by the time they come out, each for the first 5 years of the campaigns is going to be released, it forms an image. Nick Hunter has this image. You can see it. It's on the first page of issue 2, essentially the top half. It's King Cryptid, of course. So the second box is going to add to that. Of course, the rest of the box is going to have other art. So it's going to be a completely new box. We're going to have some boxes, though, I'd say maybe around, I want to say around 50 or so that are left over from the previous campaign. I have to check my stock. It's at least 50. So if you missed out on the box from the first campaign, you can get it on this next campaign. We're going to have some short boxes available as well. If we eventually sell out of all the short boxes, I'll make another one. New design. But we're going to have, I think, probably around 15. I got to check again on my inventory there. Will be available for the next campaign. On this next campaign also, of course, we're going to have King Cryptid 1 to 4, and we're going to have the blank variant of number 1. I don't have a ton left of the blank variant of number 1. Believe it or not, that was the highest selling single issue of the King Cryptids, and it's because I had that 5-copy stack that people could order. A bunch of the artists out there ordered the 5. So it outsold the other issues by maybe 100 or so, and I really kind of should have ordered more, but I just didn't think that the blank variant would have sold as well as it did. Either way, I still got a bunch. I got about 100 left. We'll have those up on the campaign. Again, both Alterna and Indiegogo will have that. So if you haven't signed up yet, you can sign up now. The link is pinned to the top of the chat. There's a bunch of other things too. I'm not revealing any of the full moon or new moon perks just yet. And it's going to stay that way because I like keeping it a surprise for you guys. But I am going to have on the campaign a super moon box. And in that super moon box, you get the collector box, you get the issues 5 to 9, and you will get every new moon and full moon special. I believe there's going to be either 12 or 14 that I'm doing. I got to look through my list again and make sure that we got some good stuff there. I want to say tentatively it's going to be priced at around 150 to 200. So if you're someone who you missed out on some of the new moon or full moon specials, this time around they're going to be true to form, to the lunar cycle. They're going to be 3 days. Right? Before they were mostly 24 hours at the apex of whatever that new moon or full moon was. And the reason we do this, of course, is because King Cryptid's powers are determined by the phases of the moon. His powers maxed out on a full moon, his powers at their weakest on a new moon. So we're going to have that available. I'm also going to have a campaign subscription option available because there's going to be a lot of perks again on this campaign. A bunch of people may have missed out on perks at one point or another as they were offered. That's going to also include the full moon and new moon specials when the time comes. So you're going to get literally everything that's new on the campaign within that campaign subscription perk. Again, that's going to probably end up being between $400 to $500. You're going to get a sealed trading card box. You're going to get the collector box. You're going to get the issues. You get 2 copies of each issue. You're going to get prints. You're going to get a shirt. You're going to get all the full moon and new moon stuff. And a couple other bonus extras too that I'm not talking about just yet. It's a lot of stuff, as you can imagine, because you're still saving. I believe you're saving probably 5% if you were to go with the subscription and if you were to go with the super moon box. So all of that I'll reveal in due time. But I just wanted to make sure because there were a lot of people on the campaign that they weren't upset. I mean, you guys were great, fantastic about the campaign. It was a big campaign, the biggest Alterna's ever had. But some people, I didn't want to let them down this time around because of the limited time factor with some of the perks that they had missed out. So a bunch of you guys gave me the idea and came to me and said, is there a way that you can offer something next time around where I can kind of get one perk and then I know I'm going to get all of those exclusives for the full moon and new moon? So this will be that. Does that mean you have to get that? No, not at all. Not at all. You can still pick and choose and get whatever ones you want to get and just, be vigilant about it and pay attention to the updates that come out. And then you got a little more time this time around to get that. But I got the option there just in case you want to be someone that goes in, because a couple of you guys really, man, oh man, you supported big time on the first campaign. If you want to go in there, set it and forget it, get that one campaign subscription perk and say, all done, I'm getting everything on this campaign, at least one of everything, then you could do that. You could absolutely do that. If not, and you want to kind of just do your thing and pick and choose and do it how you want to do it, you can do that too. That option is going to be available on both the Indiegogo and on the Alterna site. Like I said, identical perks available on both campaigns. Let me just catch up with the chat for a second here. Make sure I don't miss anything, because I think I did. Let's see. K-Pop says, just got my King Cryptid 1-4 yesterday. Fantastic. I hope you enjoy them. Thank you very much. Jolly Green. What's up, Jolly Green? Hope you're doing well. Let's see. Also, Doc says, there is definitely no incentive for me to back on Indiegogo. Hey, you know, I hear you. And that's why I'm giving that option. I'm more than happy to do that. There are some people who want to stay backing on Indiegogo. They like having their account there. They're comfortable there. That's where they go and support. And then there are other people like yourself who are like, hey, give me another option and I'll go there. And the option, of course, is to order directly from us. The same way with the alternate campaigns right now. And that's something I'm going to discuss too in just a second, because there are a couple of different changes. Again, I'm listening to you guys when I try to make these decisions. I'm not trying to make decisions just based on a whim or just how I feel about something. I'm basing it off of a lot of feedback I receive from you guys, and then I go, well, does that make sense? And sometimes it does, and sometimes it doesn't. And I don't mean make sense like, oh, it's crazy. I mean make sense in terms of, can we do that? Does it make sense for us to do that? And this one particular change that I'm going to describe in, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes. It does. I think it does make sense for this campaign and the alternate campaigns as well. Jolly Green says, congrats on the new project. Thank you. Yeah, we were planting the seeds for this, of course, as these books were being funded and then eventually, of course, being printed and fulfilled. Aloise, what's up, Aloise? Thank you for joining tonight. K-Pop says, that's what I grabbed. All of them look great. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, when you give them a read, let me know. I hope you enjoy them. We had a lot of fun making them. I hope you have even half as much fun reading them. If that happens, then you're going to have a great time. Dr. Matt says, I like to let people borrow the sketch cover because it's harder to wreck. It's tough and sturdy. It's like a library copy, right? Phantasmagorical, hey, thanks for giving me a shout out on this earlier today. You had put out that video. Really appreciate that. Brian says, awesome. I love that idea. I thought you would. Thank you very much, sir. Seer of All is Obvious says, when does this go live? It goes live July 1st. July 1st, so 3 weeks from today. And almost 3 weeks exactly from the time, because it's 9 o'clock Eastern. It'll go live then, and I'll come back, of course, and we'll do a stream and whatnot. Doc says, Super Moon Box sounds, well, super. So there you go. There you go. Let's see. What's up, NY Spawn? Hope you're doing good. Gerald Lang says a black mug of this image would be cool. Interesting. Let's see. Cole King says, better back on both the site and Indiegogo just to be safe. Hey, you do what you gotta do. Dr. Mass says, just got my second batch at King Cryptid. Very nice. Thank you so much. And I hope you enjoyed that second batch as much as you enjoyed the first. Thank you very much, Doc. Leo says, I backed on both. I appreciate that, Leo. Thank you very much, man. And a lot of you guys are great with that, and I really appreciate that. We are very close on the alternate campaign right now to the goal. I believe the last time I checked, it was around 100, if not maybe less than $100 from the goal on the Indiegogo. We're still about 3,000 or so away from the total goal for the alternate campaign that's currently up. And those books are going to the printer on Thursday. And then fulfillment starts. Well, not the books on the August campaign. Forgive my misspeaking there. The previous campaign that you guys have been so gracious on in terms of waiting and being understanding. Those are going to the printer on Thursday, the previous campaign. And then fulfillment begins on those in earnest. Blastbeat says, I'll wear that shirt while doing stand-up. There you go. All right. So if you guys did not see the covers, if you didn't see them, I'll show you those in just a second. Right now, this is the pre-launch page sign-up. This is on Indiegogo. King Cryptid number 5 to 9, Mysteries and Conspiracies. All right. So that's just a subtitle for this. It sounds jazzier than just King Cryptid number 5 to 9. Truth be told, these aren't story arcs per se. Like 5 to 9 is not a story arc entitled Mysteries and Conspiracies. The whole entire series is full of mysteries and conspiracies and monsters and creatures and all that kind of stuff. But of course, just saying number 5 to 9 doesn't pack the same kind of punch. So again, this is launching July 1st at 9 o'clock Eastern, and it says it right here on Indiegogo and alternacomics.com, similar to how alternate campaigns have been at this point, but this will be a first for the King Cryptid campaign. Monsters, mysteries, cover-ups, and conspiracies. The supernatural hero known as King Cryptid is back, and this time he's battling a yeti in a blizzard, a dragon on a stormy mountaintop, a werewolf in a small town, aliens that are abducting children, and mischievous shapeshifters known as puckwudgies. So you can see a little bit of the covers here, a couple of slices of them. You got Nick Hunter's work on number 5, Frankie B. Washington's work on number 6, Nick Hunter back again for a black and white issue on number 7, Alex Jovich on number 8, and then Kier Covington with Christian Rossi on colors for number 9. And that's what this basically says about the creative team on board. And then just sign up to receive a notification when we launch. So every single physical perk backer is going to get a random 11 by 17 poster. And what do I mean by that? Okay, so we're going to be making posters of the front and back covers. Sort of similar to what we did the last time, but those were for purchase. All right, so we're still going to have an option for those that would like to purchase unfolded posters. You can purchase them nice and rolled up, and they're pristine and perfect. They ship in a box within a box. But for those that would like and don't mind to get a free poster, you get one of 10, because there's 5 separate issues. Now, there were 5 comics on the last campaign, 1 to 4 plus the blank variant of number 1. But there were not 5 separate stories. On this one, there will be 5 separate stories. And that's 5 separate stories for still a very affordable price. $15 for those 5 comics. All right, I'm going to sign them and all that good stuff, similar to the same way it did on the last campaign. There's also going to be that option where you can get 2, because we have a front cover and a back cover. Instead of printing 2 issues and that's a variant and whatever it is, we technically put the variant on the back cover. So if you enjoy the back cover more than the front cover and you want to have that displayed as you keep them or store them or however it is, then you can do that. I'm going to have a back cover on number 8. So I'm going to have a drawing there. And then on number 5's back cover is going to be Jeff Elkins with the Yeti. On number 6 back cover is going to be Preston Azevedo. And it's going to have this gorgeous pencil work that Preston does so well. On number 7, it's going to be an inverted image of the cover that Nick Hunter did for number 7 with that werewolf. But there's going to be a couple different things to it that make it different than the other image on the front cover. You'll see that when you see it. Number 8, like I said, I'm going to do the back cover for that, and I'm going to have the original art up for auction on an Alterna auction. So stay tuned with that. Then number 9 is Kier Covington. And Kier has a front and back cover that mirrors the theme of the book. And again, you'll see that when we post that. But great looking stuff on there. We're keeping those front and back covers. Let's see here. Leo, thank you so much, man. Appreciate that. Thank you for becoming a member of the channel. And any memberships, any super chats and whatnot are very much appreciated, especially because, again, we're trying to keep this channel relatively YouTube ad-free. Not completely ad-free, but YouTube ad-free. Let's see here. Brian says 5 to 9 are also going to be flips. Yep, absolutely. That's the whole series. That's the whole series. We're gonna do that with those 2 covers. Keep them nice and awesome for you guys. Doc says it's cool that you're able to get issues out quickly. That is one downside to crowdfunding. Sometimes you wait a year or more to get the next story, and that's part of the magic of having multiple artists working on these, as opposed to I'm doing either everything or just one artist doing everything. Because they're all kind of able to do and make these issues at the same time. And then, obviously, it keeps fulfillment relatively on pace. Let's see. Brian asks, any glow-in-the-dark covers in the works? Unfortunately, no. Unfortunately, no. And the reason we can't do anything like that is because of the fact that the printer isn't set up for that. So, because of the way we print on newsprint, the printer that we work with, we have to work with what they can do. And they can't do stuff like that. So no special covers that are like holographic or glow in the dark or whatever it may be. As much as I would love that, as much as that would be awesome, and as much as some of that would even fit within the realm of this character, we just can't do it. So even if I were to go elsewhere and make it on a printer, it's not worth any of what you might think would go into it. I'll just put it that way. But yeah, you gotta, man, oh man, like if King Cryptid turns into $1 million campaign in the future, then I can give some consideration towards seeking out a printer that could do glow in the dark covers. I'll put it that way. It's difficult. It's pricey, but I appreciate that. Thank you, Brian. And I would love to see it. Don't get me wrong. I would love to see it. But it's just not in the works for now. So if you guys did not see the covers, here are the covers. I'll just show these to you guys, and then we'll move on, and I'll talk about some of that stuff that I wanted to talk about in regards to the campaigns. So here's the cover to number 5. I don't know if you guys saw this yet, but if not, it's on my Twitter. And a little bit of it, because of the formatting of Instagram, is on Instagram as well. So this is issue 5. You can see he's up against the White Mountain Yeti. We got the Yeti jamming King Cryptid up into the logo. I told Nick, can you do that? Just have him so it's kind of like this, like this. That's what I said. That's what I wrote. So he did that. He did it. Nick is wonderful. He's just fantastic. Super talented guy. He made that possible. Christian Rossi came along, colored it up great. And now we've got that beautiful looking cover there for number 5. Here is number 6 with Frankie B. Washington. He's got this dragon here on top of the old man of the mountain. And you can kind of see him. He's a little bit obscured there, but you'll see him in the issue in all his glory. And this dragon has King Cryptid in it. King Cryptid looks like he's a little bit scorched. The dragon's also kind of torched up some of the King Cryptid logo. I love incorporating the action into the logo and getting that logo part of the environment. So I have fun doing that. But Frankie did an amazing job with this. You got the rain right there, some of the lightning in the background. He really had a fun time. He completely did this cover traditionally, and that's how I wanted that done. No digital coloring on this. Frankie actually, he colored this with Copic marker, and he has the original. I wonder if he'll sell it one day. We'll see. Similar to what he did on It Came Out on Wednesday, number 20. Here's King Cryptid number 7. This again is Nick Hunter's work. And it's not called Hunter's Moon because Nick Hunter is the artist. There's another reason for that. And we'll get to that within the issue. But King Cryptid squaring off against a werewolf. If you notice, the werewolf has 3 fingers. So does King Cryptid. What does that mean? You'll find out throughout the course of the series what that means. Certain times these characters will have either 3, 4, or 5 fingers. And you'll find out what that means throughout the course of the series. It's you'll find out. So that's going to be a black and white issue. You got this beautiful scene here of the 2 of them going at it, and in front of that full moon. And as we know, King Cryptid is at his augmented powers are at their heights on a full moon. So this is going to be a pretty fierce battle, but King Cryptid doesn't necessarily want to do the damage that he can do to this werewolf. So we'll see how much he can hold back. King Cryptid number 8. Right here, we've got the continuation of issue 3. So issue 3, we had that flashback issue that was in 84. This takes place in 87. This is a Halloween special. And in this Halloween special here, you can see that we've got these kids back again. We got Jeff, Ernie, Linda, and Eric. So this is Halloween night. They're all in their little costumes here. We got King Cryptid flying in the background. You see his silhouette. And it looks as if they are being abducted by aliens. So what happens in this issue, we'll have to see. How does this go? How does this turn out? One thing is certain. One of these kids will no longer return home. This will be their last Halloween. This will be one of these kids ain't coming back. What does that mean for the other 3? So the events of this night play out in a very serious way for these kids. Now, if you read issue number 3, you might have a clue as to who that is. If not, you haven't read issue 3 yet. Maybe you're picking up issue 3 on the campaign. Maybe you just haven't read it yet and you do have it. It'll give you a clue as to kind of what's going to happen. But even then, you really don't know what's happening in this issue. And let me tell you, this issue sets up a chain of events that we're gonna explore. And just as you think it's going one way, it's a completely different way. And it's going to set up a really fun issue, probably in a year or 2 on that campaign. I gotta check my notes again. I think I want to have it set up for issue either 11 or 12. But that'll be on the 2024 campaign. So then issue 9, we've got King Cryptid, the problem with Puckwudgies. So here we've got a bunch of Puckwudgies. These are little shapeshiftery creatures that are playing tricks on King Cryptid. Now you can see at the bottom, one of them is talking about how their father will be most pleased. The other one is saying yes. So for some reason, whatever's going on with King Cryptid here, they've got him. And it's pleasing. It's going to please their father. Who could their father be? This is art by Kier Covington with colors by Christian Rossi. The previous issue, if I forgot to mention, I might have, is and that's this one. That's art by Alex Jovich, and Alex is the same artist that was on issue 3. And he'll stay with these characters. Keep some consistency for now. But issue 9, we've got this. We got these creepy little dudes. And what happens with King Cryptid here, he's kind of put through the ringer. This is an issue that occurs mostly in the daytime, so his powers for regeneration are kind of at their lowest. He's got to really be careful with how he expends his powers in the course of this issue. But who could their father be? You guys will find out. All right. So let's get to you guys here in the chat and see what's what. Status is glow-in-the-dark covers are expensive. Yeah, they really are. They're great. I love them. But man, they're expensive. And there aren't any printers unless you really get in the realm of making them expensive that are going to take on a job and have newsprint interiors with the glow-in-the-dark cover, because it has to be on that cardstock cover, which is possible. But our printer doesn't do anything like that. Metal Movies says, that's my favorite with the Yeti. I love that one too. It's a really fun cover. Really fun cover, and it's going to be a great story. There's a lot to that. I'll talk more about what the stories are past these kind of general pitches as we get closer to the campaign, and then especially as the campaign is going on. There's a lot in terms of the story structure with all these characters, and some recurring eventually, some maybe not. It depends on you guys. And then a couple of them, it's tough because if you've read issue 4, it's definitely, you're gonna get it when I start talking about it. You're gonna get some of the hints and the breadcrumbs that have been laid out. If you haven't read 1 to 4, that's gonna be fine. You just won't get the deeper context. That's how the stories are structured in King Cryptid, is that each issue is relatively standalone. You can enjoy them for what they are. But if you're reading the entirety of the series, you're going to get something more out of it. because there is an overarching plot that occurs throughout the whole entire series. And there's several plot lines that are woven, and some are occurring at different timelines and some aren't. But we, of course, will let you know when there's something that's pertinent to the story you're currently reading. I put an editor's note there about, reference this specific issue. And this way you guys, you won't be confused. But if you want to learn more about maybe something characters are either talking about or something that's occurring within the context of a story, you can go seek out that issue if you don't have it. But chances are, we're just starting off, you probably will have this issue. Gerald Lang says, no need to go big print. Newsprint has an indie or 80s feel. Alterna is the Napoleon Dynamite of comics. I hope you mean in context of how the film did and was received. Let's see. Doc says, Frankie has a video out there on this cover. Everyone should check it out. Yeah, it's a great video. What's up, GJ? Hope you're doing well. K-Pop says, I dig the black and white stuff. I dig it too. Nick Hunter's great at it. He really is. Let's see here. GJ says, Frankie B has an amazing eye when it comes to colors and a lot more. His art just fascinates me. Yeah, it's awesome. Absolutely. Frankie's a beast. He's really going to go for broke on this issue too, let me tell you. Really great stuff that's going to come from Frankie. GJ says, you have amazing covers, Pete, for the next 5 issues. Great stuff. Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate that. Let's see. AL says, just saying hi. Hey, AL. Thank you for saying hello and stopping by tonight. General Piggy says, is their father Satan? Oh, the Puckwudgies? No, their father isn't Satan. No. AL says, I'll definitely get the next issues of King Cryptid. I appreciate that, AL. Thank you very much. And again, for you guys that maybe have just joined in, the link pinned to the top of the chat has the Indiegogo sign up. The campaign's going to be on both Alterna Comics and on Indiegogo, launching July 1st. If you're already signed up for the Alterna newsletter, you're pretty much good to go. You're going to get that email notification when it launches on the Alterna site. If you want to specifically back on Indiegogo instead, feel free, sign up there instead. GJ says that White Yeti book, that White Yeti looks super beefed up on that cover. Yeah, and I wanted Nick to do that because Nick was kind of sending it back, and the Yeti is 8 feet tall. King Cryptid is 7'2", so he's a little taller than him. He's got like 10 inches on him. So the Yeti there, he was drawing the Yeti relatively the same physical structure as King Cryptid. And the Yeti is bigger. The Yeti's got about 100 or so pounds on King Cryptid, and the Yeti is just much broader and bigger, and even in some respects stronger. So I wanted to make sure that translated. I also wanted to make sure that it translated that the Yeti was entirely covered in fur, but is more obviously like a Yeti. The fur is thicker and more concentrated around the back, the chest area, that kind of a thing. Jefferson says, hey, Pete, my 5-year-old son is watching with me. He asked why the Puckwudgies have yellow eyes. Why do the Puckwudgies have yellow eyes? I mean, they're kind of jaundiced, I guess you could say. You could see their skin is all mottled. They're not necessarily, they're not human. So let's put it that way. They're definitely not human. Why they have yellow eyes? Honestly, you could mostly say because they're creatures that are. I don't want to give away things. How can I put this? Your son's asking good questions. Just tell him because they're creepy. So Jefferson Roswell, if you're watching right there, you're making good questions, but they're just creepy. They're creepy, and wouldn't it be creepy to see a creature, a little creature, humanish looking thing, but it's not human, it's not a person, and they have yellow eyes and tiny pupils. Big eyes, too. Big eyes. But yeah. K-Pop, the newsprint was a nice touch. Really enjoyed that. Oh, thank you, K-Pop. Appreciate that. GJ says, I adore every commission Frankie has done for me, and of course yours truly and every Alterna artist. Thank you, GJ. And I just want to get back here. K-Pop, all the books at Alterna Comics, all the single issues that we have are on newsprint. So feel free, check them out. alternacomics.com. Maybe you'll discover some more favorites. We got a lot of great stuff at Alterna. Statistical Zero says, geez, leave me alone. I'm just reading my Alterna Comics. Gosh. I wonder when they're going to have a book on a Liger. Oh, man, Napoleon Dynamite. All right. I'll have to... Geez, leave me alone. I'm just reading my Alterna Comics. Gosh. I wonder when they're going to have a book on a Liger. He's going to spend like 3 hours shading the top lip. Gerald Lang says, let's see. Of course, I mean, a good way. Napoleon is brilliant in its indie greatness, like Alterna. Appreciate that. GJ says, I love how the Yeti came out. Man, what a cover. And the Yeti story, there's a lot of layers to the Yeti story. All of these stories, they're not as simple as King Cryptid goes up against the monster of the issue. And if you've read the first 4, you understand where I'm coming from. If you haven't read the first 4 yet, but you're going to get the first 4 on the next campaign, or like I said, you haven't just had the time yet, you'll discover that, yes, there's more to it than meets the eye. Sure, they're fun and they've got action and adventure and all that other good stuff, but there are layers to these stories and these characters. In particular, the dragon story. I think a lot of people, by the time that story ends, are going to go, oh boy, what is going on here? There are a lot of... It's not as simple as it's just like this dragon taking 3 people up to the top of a mountain and holding them captive. Not as simple as that. And then when it comes to the werewolf story as well, the same thing. We're going to see a callback to a prior issue, and we're going to develop a couple more characters. Something that I really love is a scene with Victor Lugo. And Victor Lugo, of course, we saw him in issue 1, and he's going to look pretty different by the time we see him in issue 7. But there's a scene with him when he's talking to one of the villagers, one of the townsfolk, and what he says to them. It's a character building moment. And you're going to be like, this guy's a piece of work. But I love stuff like that. Adds layers and depth to the characters. But all of the monsters are not simply just straight up monsters for the sake of just something for King Cryptid to fight. They all have their own stories. They all have their own backgrounds. They all have their own objectives. They're all trying to either accomplish something or figure something out. And you find out more about that throughout the course of their issue. And then, of course, because this is an ongoing series as well, we're going to see some characters return. Like, I cannot wait to get to the Behemoth when he comes back. His issue when he comes back is going to be a lot of fun. A lot of fun on that issue. We're going to discover more about him. Speaking of the Behemoth, we're going to have that as a card. That's going to be the trading card offered on this campaign. So you can get the Behemoth, and it's going to be part of the Alterna series. Not the King Cryptid series, the Alterna series. So the same way that these cards are set up in the Alterna set. Where is that? King Cryptid number 8 was offered the same way like these are set up in the Alterna series. The Behemoth is going to have his own card. But that's going to be a bonus. What's up, SDA? Hope you're doing well. Appreciate it. Thank you for stopping by. GJ says, what an explosive first 4 issues of King Cryptid, Pete. I never doubted you, not one bit. Ever since you unveiled King Cryptid, my curiosity got the best of me. My eyes grew like cat pupils. I appreciate it. Thank you, GJ. Man, oh man. And it's only going to get better and better. And I'm not trying to toot my own horn here, but it's just the fact of the world building involved and the character building and the development that's occurring. It's only going to get better and better in terms of these stories. The more that we build upon this world, the more that we build upon these characters, what they're going through, what they're trying to accomplish. Issue 7 in particular is when King Cryptid really starts to wonder what the hell is going on here, because there's a lot of stuff that's occurring that he hasn't seen in roughly 30 years. and now there's all of a sudden there's cryptids and creatures and all kinds of things going on all the time. Now this character is about 500 years old, so he's seen a lot. He's come across a bunch of creatures and cryptids and all kinds of crazy stuff in his 5 centuries. But in this condensed amount of time, he's coming across a bunch of things more than ever before. And he's starting to kind of piece together some of the puzzle pieces involved. He definitely doesn't know everything that's going on. Again, if you've read the issues too, and I've talked about this before, he does have the telepathic ability to communicate with cryptids and animals, but not human beings. Not human beings. So keep that in mind with some of this as well. And then his powers, again, are heightened. They're at their peak on a full moon, and they're at their lowest on a new moon. And the moon rays, they replenish him. He's got that moonstone above his, essentially between his eyes, right above his third eye, right on the crown there. That moonstone as well. I cannot wait to get into the issue where we talk about that. Holy smokes. The origin of the moonstone issue. How many years? I think 4? 3 or 4 more years for that campaign. I'm sorry I put you guys through this. I put me through it too. So I'm sorry. It's probably going to be around issue, like, sometime between issue 17 to issue 20. I'm sorry. Oh boy. But yeah, it's gonna be a great issue by the time we get to it. And I tell you, 3 to 4 years will be here like that. We're gonna be doing 4 to 5 issues every single year. I've mentioned it before. King Cryptid 10 to 12 was gonna be a story arc, and I figured let's stick with the theme of every single issue. It can be enjoyed. Let's not have story arcs. So when I want to tell a larger story, what we'll do is a king-sized issue, right? It fits the theme. So that issue 10 instead will be a king-sized issue. It'll contain 3 issues worth of material and put it into 1 issue. Then it gives me a chance to tell a different story for 11 and a different story for 12. And I'm hoping that on that campaign 2 years from now, or a year from now, I should say, 2 years from now, the books will come out, that I could get issue 13 on there as well. But we'll see. We'll see how this campaign, it depends on how this campaign does. It'll help me to gauge what I could do for the campaign that comes after it. Let's see here. Gerald says Alterna needs to offer tots with its campaigns. Anybody just going to punch those tots right in the pocket right there. I agree, NY Spawn, that Jefferson's kid's asking the real questions, I see an investigative spark within that young man. Let's see. Gerald says, I think a Wolf and Batsy crossover with King Cryptid would work well narratively. Similar core elements. I agree. I don't want to do any crossovers, though, until I get at least 10 issues under my belt. And that's mostly for you guys, especially. I want to get the readers understanding characters. And that's if we ever do crossovers. I have no idea. But that's one of those things. So 10 issues before I even entertain the idea of a crossover, and 10 years until a trade. If you're waiting on a trade for King Cryptid, what I mean by that, of course, is a trade paperback. Compile a bunch of stories or whatever into a trade. You're going to wait 10 years. And when you wait that 10 years, what's going to happen is at that point in time, on that fateful day, I'm going to be taking a survey among the readers, the King Cryptid readers. They can either write into me, vote on something, whatever it is, whatever's around in 10 years, right? Good grief, 2033. So at that point, the readers are going to vote for their top 5 King Cryptid stories. So give me issue numbers at that point. Will you still think that the White Mountain Yeti issue is going to be a favorite? Did you still enjoy issue 1, 2, 3, or 4? Whatever it may be. Maybe you liked issue 12 or whatever it was. Whatever your top 5 issues are, that's what's going to get voted in, and those issues will work themselves into that King Cryptid trade. So it's going to be voted on by the readers. And that's essentially going to be viewed then to me as these important King Cryptid stories. So don't wait for the trade. You can be waiting a long time, and it's not going to be the kind of trade you think. And that's mostly because, I mean, Alterna, we put out trades and graphic novels primarily for our first 10 to 11 years. And in that time, from 2006 to 2016, I'd seen the industry go from thinking you can't possibly just put out trades and graphic novels, that's madness, to, hey, let's like put trades and graphic novels out for every damn thing we've ever done, regardless of how much it's loved or not loved or whatever it is. And every single thing is written for the trade. King Cryptid ain't like that. So in terms of the trade, there's a trade because he's earned it, right? So 10 years, that's a good mark. And then what happens? It's because you guys voted them in. You guys like those stories, and those stories will go in there for posterity. Not posterior, for posterity. So 10 years. All right. So yes, it's the Great Cryptid Convergence between Wolf and Batsy and King Cryptid. Let's see. GJ says, oh, by the way, Pete, my son, 15 years old now, finished reading King Cryptid, and he loved it. He is definitely digging this book. Oh, man, that makes me happy to hear. Thank you very much, GJ and GJ's son. Thank you guys for enjoying them. Logan says, I'm here for it. Worth the wait. Let's see. Brian says, yes, that is a great idea. I think it's about the 10-year wait on trades. But it's an issue. It's a series meant to be enjoyed as single issues. You know, some people love single issues, some people maybe don't. By and large, I've found that most people, comparatively speaking, love single issues compared to graphic novels. But at the same time, I love graphic novels and trades and stuff like that too. I've got a bunch. Definitely not as many as I have of single issues. But when we do put out those single issues, we'll make sure that it's because they deserve to be given that prestigious printing, as opposed to just, you know, we made these stories and they're there, you know. Maybe one day we'll have to reprint an issue or two or whatever it is, who knows, but we'll see. We'll get to that. Let's see. GJ says, I'm so looking forward to reading and collecting every issue of King Cryptid. The many more cryptid characters to be unveiled. Wow, the possibilities are endless. I can't even tell you, man. There are so many characters for me to get into. Right now, I'm laying out the groundwork with a bunch of different things, but there are so many along the way. Oh boy, just saying them and explaining them and describing them at this point, it's torturous for me, but it's just going to torture you guys even more. I mean, every time I'm telling Erin about these stories, she's like, when's that one coming out? And I'm like, probably 2026. She's like, why are you telling me this? Why are you telling me the story's going to come out in like 3 years? What's wrong with you? And I'm like, I don't know. But that's all that I have to pace it out. Because she wants the story now. You know, and I want the story now too. And I know a lot of you guys do as well, but things take time. So I'm going to hold off. I'm just going to say, trust in me, please. I appreciate if you do. There's a lot of really great stuff to get to. There's a never-ending, it is a plethora of cryptids to get to. And most of them out of my own mind. Metal Movies Brewski says, my kids are digging King Cryptid. They're definitely going to write him. They should. Yeah, write to the king. You know, King Cryptid loves getting letters from human beings. So send him in. You know, we make sure that they get to his cave, and then he responds back on the next issue or issue whatever, you know, happens to be down the line. Jefferson Roswell says, my son enjoys age-appropriate scary stories. Also, he said he would like to meet a Pukwudgie at the petting zoo. Although I think once we learn more about them, he might change his mind. Yeah, Pukwudgies all have a now real Pukwudgies in terms of Wampanoag folklore. These are relatively based on those creatures. Those creatures are kind of like elfish, goblin-y looking things, about 2 to 3 feet tall. Legend has it that they used to be friendly to humans, but humans betrayed them so many times that they became a little bit more mischievous and sometimes deadly to humans. They're all different, but they've always had this common trait of being relatively, they played pranks and things like that, but they're relatively innocuous kind of pranksters. But their pranks became more and more dangerous and deadly and things like that over time. But these Pukwudgies, while still retaining some of those traits, are definitely not 100% true to the Wampanoag folklore. But I do hope that because of it, people look it up and maybe learn some more about some of these things. So within the context of the story, each Pukwudgie does have a slightly different personality from the other, but one of them has a really different personality from the rest. And then one of them is also the leader. And we also find out what is making these Pukwudgies who and what they are. There's a moment that King Cryptid has with one of them that is really a bit sad. It's a bit sad, the conversation he has with one of them. That's a little bit... Now there's 4 Pukwudgies there. Well, actually, no, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 Pukwudgies. And there's 4 Pukwudgies that are pretty hell-bent on just pleasing father, right? They want to make their dad happy. It's a Father's Day gift to capture King Cryptid for him. But there's one Pukwudgie. She's kind of curious about King Cryptid. She's never seen anything like King Cryptid. She's never met anyone like King Cryptid, and she talks to him for a little bit, and it's kind of sad, the conversation he has with her. So we'll see about how that story plays out a bit, but it's a kind of a touching moment. But it all goes to hell very quickly. Logan Effling says, I'll buy the floppies too. I just like collected editions of things I enjoy. And wouldn't that be fun one day to get some kind of a volumized omnibus, right? Like, issues 1 to 20, issues 21 to 40, so that's not out of the realm of possibility. It's just I want to make sure we get far enough down the line. I find that way too many comics nowadays, everything is turned into writing for the trade, put out a trade. It's to me, it's sad. I love comics in their single issue episodic way that they are. They're so great. Agent Cup says, you're saying we should wait for the trade. Hey, you do what you gotta do. If you can hold out for 10 years, go for it. GJ says, these Pukwudgies definitely look so creepy. I dig their designs. Yeah, Kier did a great job on bringing those to life based off of some of the drawings that I sent to him. Metal Movies Brewski says, we haven't even read issue 4, but that is what I like. It's 4 issues a year. I'm making it another week. There you go. Oh, you're milking it another week. Oh, yeah. Wow, very nice. Yeah, you could do that, too. Yeah, you could do that. Absolutely. Bind them and everything. There are tons of people that do that. It makes me cringe. But you could do that. Okay, so something I did want to talk about that's very important. Let me just bring this up for a second here. Yeah, Agent Cub. Yeah. Well, I don't want to be morbid, but you never know. We could be... and I don't want to scare any of the younger viewers, but we could be non-existent tomorrow. You never know, right? But in terms of, I don't plan things that way. If I was to plan things that way, man, I'd be doing a whole lot of things differently. I think everyone in the world would. But I plan things in terms of these pinnacles and moments where there's milestones, and now that's that. And that's what makes sense with that. But yeah, you can go anytime, which is more important than ever. Then get those King Cryptid issues and read them today. All right, so Alterna's August campaign. Now this is on Indiegogo right here. So it's at 1,949. There's 50 backers on board, and it's at 96% now of the goal. But it's also on the Alterna Comics site. And you could go right there to alternacomics.com/pre-order. It'll take you right there. And we've got 128 backers on there with 5,030 raised. So you could see more people want to use this now instead, which is wonderful. On the previous campaign, we had more backers on the Indiegogo, but Alterna site raised more. Now we have more backers and we've raised more on the Alterna site, which is great. Eventually, I mean, even if you just want to back on Indiegogo, even if you're just going to end up backing on Indiegogo, check out the Alterna site first. You might like it. So in total, there's 177 backers with 6,956 raised. All right, that's what we've got so far. As you can see the countdown right here, we got 20 days, 4 hours, 59 minutes, and appropriate amount of seconds counting. So what I'm talking about now in terms of what's happening here, campaigns moving forward, this is how it's going to go. And you can see the King Cryptid pre-launch thing is up there as well. Before, we used to do it this way. So if a creator had a campaign, like say the Blood Realm campaign for issues 10 to 12, or the Mighty Mascots campaign that was for issues 4 to 6, or the King Cryptid campaign that was for issues 1 to 4. Before, what we had done was we incorporated, then later on we would release those issues even though they were already printed and campaign fulfillment was done and for those other campaigns that the creators had launched, we put those issues out and spaced them out among the alternate campaigns. But many of you guys have asked over the past year or so and have commented about just the confusion sometimes that would create. I've heard you loud and clear, especially in terms of this King Cryptid campaign coming up. Issues 1 to 4, along with the blank variant, and a couple King Cryptid merch items that were on the last campaign are now going to be up on the alternate campaign, available to order, along with the new issues that are going to be available to pre-order. So if I were to put King Cryptid number 1 out on, let's say, the fall campaign, and then number 2 would be on next year, and then 3 would be on like a summer campaign or a spring camp or whatever, and then 4 would be on a 2024 campaign, by the time everything is almost a year and a half delayed, right? So a lot of you guys have commented about that, and again, everyone's been very kind about it. Everyone's just kind of like, a mix between curious and slight disappointment and confusion. All right. And that's kind of where I've been at on this subject as well. So your feelings are jiving with mine. So now what we're going to do instead, starting with this King Cryptid campaign, and I hope other alternate creators do something like this as well. But again, it's up to them. How they want to run it is how they want to run it. Now, the King Cryptid books are going to be available to order on the Alterna site when that new campaign launches. If any kind of campaign happens like that again in the future for any books, whether it's mine or any other alternate creator, those books will not be a part of the pre-order campaigns. If we have pre-order campaigns up, what's going to happen is that those issues on the pre-order campaign, like the issues you see here, Blood Realm 13, Red Koi 7, Unit 44 8, Wolf and Batsy 8 and 9, those are all 100% new. None of these have been offered before in a creator campaign or previously elsewhere or anything like that. So that's what's going to be on alternate pre-order campaigns from now on. Issues that are 100% new. They haven't been put out before. So with the last campaign, the winter campaign, we had Blood Realm number 12. Now, Blood Realm number 12 was a part of Rob's campaign from about, I want to say about a year and a half ago is when he fulfilled that. So a bunch of you guys have actually had that issue for a year and a half. And maybe some of you didn't back it because you were going to back on the Alterna site. But instead, you chose to wait, right? On the Alterna site, Indiegogo, whatever it may be. You chose to get it through Alterna's bundles instead. Some of the people that were going to back King Cryptid didn't back it there as well because they chose to wait till it was available on an alternate campaign. Perfectly understandable. But again, it's coming to a point where I'm finding that there's a lot of people who are also excuse me, I gotta take a break at this point, an hour. There are a lot of people, I just want to say this and then we'll take a quick break. A lot of people that are backing and getting the book again that are happy to do so, but don't necessarily need to do so. So that's also cutting down our supply of books on some of these books that we could probably just use the book, and then this way we wouldn't have to go back to print. Just because I would rather go back to print because we have to go back and get new readers these books, as opposed to because we resold the book twice to multiple readers. So what we're doing, again, long story short, alternate campaigns are only going to have new books that haven't been solicited, fulfilled, etc. prior. And we're going to have campaigns up on both Indiegogo and the Alterna site. No matter what, they're always going to be available for pre-order now at the Alterna site. So that's the biggest change that's occurring. I'm also going to have, I'll talk about this part when I get back. So that's the biggest change that's occurring. A lot of you guys have asked about that. I said it before, and it mostly it came out when I had said and put up that video about it was going to almost be a year until some people were going to get King Cryptid number 4, let's say, because of the way the campaigns were spaced out. So some people were like, I don't understand. They're already printed. Why do you still have to wait? Like, why would you do that to yourself and to us? And they made a great point. These are turning into it's a self-imposed rule, essentially. A lot of the readers that already have the books don't mind whatsoever if they're out once they're out. And then a lot of the new readers coming on board, they want to maintain that sense of community in the readership and talking about issues among each other. And they don't have to wait like a year out, that kind of a thing. And perfectly understandable. So that's the biggest change that's occurring. I'll talk about that a little bit more on the Alterna site, on the Alterna channel. Just to specify that it's not a massive change, but it is a change in a direction based on how we need to grow, evolve, and adapt on how things are going. So I'm going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. And I'm going to end up talking about another change that's going to be coming to the Alterna campaigns. And it's a good one. It's one that I think you guys will probably like. It affects the King Cryptid campaign a little bit as well, especially the last one. But again, I think it's a change you guys are going to like, and I hope you guys like it. A bunch of you guys have asked for it, so I'm going to try to accommodate. But I'll be back in just a moment. Take a look at some of these trailers here, and hopefully some of them tickle your fancy, whatever that may be.
Hello everybody, this is Logan Effling, the creator of the comic book Firewatch. It's an action-adventure in a supernatural setting inspired by the great Gold Key era of non-superhero comics, such as Turok, Tarzan, and the Mighty Samson. If you yourself are into non-superhero comics, I think it's worth checking out.
All right, welcome back. It's me, Pizza Matty. All right, so some of those trailers, man, are fantastic. They're like motion comics. They're almost like animated. Some of them are just animated, right? But goodness, you guys aren't just making comic books. You're making motion comics. I wonder if any of the very talented people out there have thought about putting that together in some way, shape, or form. Anyway. So we're back for probably another 15 minutes or so. I meant to take a break about 20 minutes ago. Thank you for being here with me and not leaving. And yeah, let's all go down to the lobby. Absolutely. GJ says, get your Kordrath. That's Andy Smith's book. Dr. Mask, hey, what's up? Says, heading to bed. Enjoy your night. Good night, Doc. Hope you take care. Okay, so the only other change that I wanted to talk about was this. All right, so this is the last one I want to talk about. Pick your brain about it. So you see these Alterna series trading cards. A lot of you guys have been getting into Alterna in the more recent months, the more recent campaigns. And now we're on card, what is that, 14 and 15. Okay. So generally speaking, this is how it's gone. Every single alternate campaign, there's been trading cards that are bonuses for physical perk backers. If you back a digital perk, you do not receive bonuses. I want to make that clear. If you back a digital perk with the physical perk, you receive bonuses. But if you just back a digital perk, you don't get bonuses. Clear? So these alternate series cards, you get card 14 and 15 for free. But card alternate foil number 6, which is of Agent Gibson, you see that first card there. These used to be free. The card prices for them have gone through the roof. So unfortunately, we have to charge now for these cards. If you want to continue to collect the alternate foil set, and these are what the foil cards look like. Let me do a full screen here. So these are what the foil cards look like. They're all shiny and stuff. They're foil on the front and the back. There it is. If you want to get this one's AF5, alternate foil 5. If you want to get these from now on, I'm still going to have them available because people do want to still collect those. It's a parallel set running along with the regular alternate series set. Now, let's go back to here. So that one's available separately for purchase. It is not a freebie. The other two cards are freebies. They're bonuses. So 14 and 15, you get them with every physical perk. That's how it's been. We haven't been selling these cards. But a lot of people are now asking for that. I posed this question to a bunch of you guys before, and no one seemed to mind about selling these cards. So people could catch up and collect their set. Because it turns out that even though there's a bunch of people out there that have the cards, not many people either want to trade them or want to part with them, which is flattering, to be quite honest. I'm glad you guys love your cards so much. But at the same time, it's not entirely conducive to the trading card moniker. So we're going to be offering the ability for $2 a card. You could go and you can purchase whatever you're missing. I'm going to have that listed on the next alternate campaign, so you can purchase whatever you would need. On the King Cryptid campaign, the same thing. You can purchase those single cards that you might have missed because we're out of packs. I don't want to put together packs that feel relatively misleading. Now, the reason that the packs were $5 a pack before was because you had the odds of getting a signed card or a sketch card. We're still going to have signed cards and sketch cards and some good stuff with the trading card packs for the next King Cryptid campaign. But the Series 1 packs are sold out. There were 500 that were made and put together, and 500 sold. They sold out very fast. So on Series 2, I am not limiting the amount of packs being made. That's up to you guys. But the way that sketch cards are still going to be for the odds of getting one, it's still going to be 1 out of 50 packs and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to guarantee that you get a sketch card and a signed card, though, if you purchase a sealed box. Now, because of that, the sealed boxes are a little bit more expensive than what would have been a $5 pack. So if you get, it's going to be 20 pack boxes. If you bought 20 packs before, it would be $100, $5 a pack. But because you are guaranteed to get a sketch card and a signed card in that box, and you're getting the box as well, it's going to be a very nice box. You could store your cards in there or whatever else you'd like to store. It's up to you. But because of that, it's going to have a slight upcharge in the box. So it's going to cost $125. So it's not too much. But you're still getting a random sketch card and all that kind of stuff. But you're guaranteed, if you purchase a sealed box, to get that. Of course, you're still going to be able to have the odds in the overall production run are going to be 1 out of 50 that you would get a sketch card. So I want to make that clear. So if we sell 1,000 packs, there's going to be still 1 out of 50. So we're going to have 20 sketch cards. All right. So on the King Cryptid campaign, because there were people who were asking because they loved the cards once they got them, but they didn't purchase enough packs. Cards will be $2 a piece. On average, people got between 2 to 3 packs for a complete set. So if you purchase 3 packs, that would be $15. You got a complete set. it's a little bit less than $2 a card, and you had some extras. So like this, if you need a couple different cards from Series 1, you could purchase the singles. But for Series 2, you cannot purchase singles. Series 2 is just packs. If you want to wait it out, you could purchase singles on the next campaign. If you'd rather get packs, and then you can make it's more fun. And then you can make it so you could possibly get one of the sketch cards or a signed card, or I'm going to have a different bonus in there too this time around as well. I'll explain that when the campaign launches. But we'll have a different bonus card that's randomly inserted as well. Then you can get the packs. So again, we're going to have that kind of an option for you guys. Hopefully you guys are cool with that. Hopefully you guys enjoy that. This way you can actually complete your full sets and all that good stuff. If you want to, it's up to you. But this way, again, it's an option. We've got the cards here. It doesn't make any sense to just kind of let them languish for forever when there's people who want these cards. Same thing with the alternative foil cards. So what's going to happen is they're free on these campaigns. The base trading card sets are free, other than the King Cryptid series sets. Those King Cryptid series sets are not free. But you do get one random bonus card as a backer. Same way on the previous campaign. But the Alterna series cards, again, it'll be $2 a piece. The Alterna foil card, it's $2 on this campaign. It'll be $3 for just the Alterna foil card after the campaign. So you save $1. Or if you get the regular cards, you save $2. If you back the campaign, you get them as a bonus. So you don't need to pick them up. But this way, in case you're missing a card here or there or whatever it is, you could pick it up. I've had a bunch of people ask over the course of 2 years now about that. So I want to make sure that we do that at this point. Yeah. Every time I get feedback and it seems like it's from a bunch of people about the same thing, that's when I know, okay, it's time to do that change. So don't hold back on some of your feedback or ideas when it comes to stuff like that. If there's something you'd like to see us do, even though like things like that glow in the dark cover, when Brian asked about it, nothing wrong with that. I'd love to do stuff like that. If we get to a point where we ever could, I would go for it. But right now it just doesn't make sense for us to do that, but it's a great idea. It's an idea I've thought about for a long time. But so it's stuff like that. So stuff like this with the trading cards. And again, I'll do another video about this on the Alterna channel, and I'll talk about it again some more. One specifically for what we're going to do with the campaign, and then one specifically for the trading cards. But this way you guys can complete your sets. So let's see. Blastbeat says that he's highly interested in completing his set, and says I'm also interested in getting extra cards for grading purposes. Well, there you go. Randy, what's up? Hope you're doing well. Thank you for joining us tonight. Cole says, I missed the cards for King Cryptid. Would love a chance to get them. Yeah, a bunch of people have said the same kind of thing, especially where in that instance, and it's the same thing that's going to happen. We're not going to have packs available anymore. The packs are made just for the campaign. So whatever occurs in terms of that, even for the Series 2, I'm not going to have leftover packs. Packs are essentially made for whatever sells on the campaign. But I will have leftover cards available just because ordering the cards, you have to order so many more. So singles will be available of those cards on the site that you could pick. You could just do a drop down on the site or on the Indiegogo and then pick the cards that you want. Let's see here. And I will say that when it comes to that, it's easier to back that specifically on the Alterna site. Choosing the trading cards is going to be easier on the Alterna site. Buddha Bear says, hey all, hey Pete, could I do you for the cover commission for Wendy the Werewolf on Wolf and Batsy? Yeah, totally. Absolutely. That would be awesome to do that. I'd love to draw Wendy the Werewolf on there. Wendy and William in issue 7 are tragic characters. And you'll find out why and what their story is. But yeah, they're in issue 7. Wendy is the werewolf, and what occurs with them is it's emotional. You know, and that's the whole point, isn't it? When you read stories, you want to be emotionally invested, that there's risks and there's stakes, and the stakes are there because of the fact that there's emotion involved in these characters. And hopefully, if I'm doing my job right, hopefully you care about the characters. So, but absolutely, yeah, there's William as well, but William is not a werewolf. All right, so I'll just explain it like this. All right, let me go back to, and this will be the last thing I say for tonight. So William is a wolf, and he'll be a familiar-looking wolf to some of you. He'll be a familiar-looking wolf to some of you. But Wendy is the werewolf. Now, Wendy has the ability to turn into a regular wolf and also has the ability to turn into a humanoid wolf on the night of a full moon. William can be a human being only during the nights of the full moon. 3 nights. 3 nights this occurs. I know that usually in the movies or whatever, they talk about, and this is the cover I'm talking about here, they mention how it just always seems like the full moon is 1 night. Right? Full moon's technically 3 nights. That's the lunar cycle, as every phase of the moon is relatively 3 nights. Give or take sometime, depending on how it lines up. So on those 3 nights, Wendy here can turn, no choice but to be a wolf or a werewolf, a humanoid wolf. Can't become human. Not even in the day, right? So usually she spends the day as a wolf, and sometimes in some circumstances transforms to a werewolf when is necessary. But William, his curse is that, essentially, because they're both cursed, such is the life of the werewolf, right? William, on the night of a full moon, that's the only time he's human, is during those 3 days. The rest of that time period, throughout the rest of the month, he is a wolf. So the two of them are never the same being. And these two people are in love, and they've been in love for a long time. But their curse essentially made it that they have to be apart for forever in terms of who they are. So she will never be human when William is a human, and vice versa. But they're still always together. So what occurs in this issue here is there's something going on in the town of Jackson, New Hampshire. Now, this is a real town. This is a small town. Their story starts off in Dogtown in Massachusetts in around 1820. And the curse that takes over, this is what happens to them. Why it happens to them, that curse, that's explained in the first couple of pages. And then we dive a little bit deeper into the past that sets up the future for the rest of the story and what occurs. So something's happening in Jackson, New Hampshire, where essentially it looks like a werewolf, or at least a rabid wolf, or something is going on that's killing the livestock, etc., etc. You know how it goes with these werewolves, right? They run amok, and what can you do? Now, eventually, one of these wolves kills one of the townsfolk's kids. So that's when the task force gets involved, led by Victor Lugo, to come in and take care of business. However, that means, maybe lethal force necessary here. Now, this is where King Cryptid gets involved. King Cryptid, of course, he resides in the White Mountains of New Hampshire, relatively in tune with the events of the world around him. This is his little corner of the world. You know, the region of New England and its whereabouts. He's pretty in tune with it. He does nightly checkups and all that. This is his Gotham. Essentially. So he, through the grapevine, because again, remember, like I said, he's telepathic with animals and cryptids. So he knows what's going on based on the reports he's getting from various creatures at all sorts of time. Anyone ever wondering, how do King Cryptid know about certain things going on? Like we showed in issue 1, he can tune into what the animals see, what the animals are observing at any given moment, other than when his powers are depleted on the nights of a full moon. Then his psychic powers can go to nothing, practically, depending on how much he's exerted himself. But in this issue, Wendy and William are in a world of trouble, and King Cryptid is going to try to help. And the reason King Cryptid helps, I can't get into that just yet, because it gives away something within the within the issue. But King Cryptid goes to help, and this is the situation he finds himself in, is that he has to confront this werewolf, but also he doesn't want to necessarily hurt her. But he has to do something because Victor Lugo's hot on the trail, and Victor Lugo has an axe to grind based on what has happened in issue 1. So there's a lot of stuff here, but again, if you want a sketch cover of Wendy on the Wolf and Batsy blank, I'm more than happy to do that for you. That's fine. But yeah, so William can only turn into a wolf, and then Wendy can do both. But again, that's part of their story, is that Wendy and William can never be together and be the same kind of being at the same time. That's part of their curse. So Wendy's always going to be a human when William is always a wolf. And William's always going to be a human when Wendy's either a wolf or a werewolf. But she's the only one between the two of them that can actually transform into a werewolf, because the particular curse was more about punishing her in that specific kind of way. And when she's a werewolf, she's a beast. She's savage. She has practically no humanity. It's very difficult. The only thing that she has at all is a fierce protectiveness for William at that point. That's the only thing. She won't harm William when she's a werewolf. But other than that, like a loyal dog, she'll protect William with her life if necessary. So yeah, SDA. Yeah, little wolf friend right there. All right, so I've said too much, but at the same time, have I really? Again, that's issue 7 right there. And that's going to be Nick Hunter's issue. He's going to have issue 5 as well, but this one will be black and white. He's going to be bringing in some really great work on the black and white for this issue, and you guys will see it when you see it. But that's it for tonight. Thank you guys so much. Again, you can sign up and should sign up for the pre-order on Indiegogo of King Cryptid 5 to 9. If you want to back on there, go for it. Sign up. Knock yourself out. You'll get an email notification when we launch. If not, and you'd rather back on the Alterna site, because it's going to be launched simultaneously, exact same perks, exact same campaign, all that kind of great stuff. If you're signed up for the Alterna newsletter, then you're good to go. If you haven't signed up for the Alterna newsletter, you really should. You get a 10% coupon for signing up. And then you also get notified of a bunch of different things during the course of the year with Alterna, whether it's a campaign, a new book, a sale, merch, whatever it may be. You get notified of that through the newsletter. So go do that. Statistical Zero says, I appreciate you actually talking about your character versus buy the book and wait to see. I'm going to talk way more about them, about all of them. But it's early. It's early. I'm just announcing the pre-order now. So you know me. You're gonna hear a lot about these characters in the days to come and over the course of the next year. So much to talk about. There's so much to talk about. And we'll get there. And I'll make sure not to give away anything pivotal that'll make you go, oh man, what? That just happened? I want you to do that within the confines of the story. You know, that page turn that's ever so important, that makes comics worth reading. I'm never going to reveal that kind of stuff to you guys, but I'll give you some backstory. I'll give you some characterization. I'll give you personality of these characters. I'll give you what their motives are, what is making them do the things that they're gonna do. But a lot of the time I will not talk about what they will be doing, and I will absolutely not discuss any kind of twist and turn of the story or a further reveal in these characters and within the plot. I want you guys to read that, and I want you guys to discover that for yourself. And believe me, I would love to talk about it. Because I just love to talk about it. But I'd rather have you guys discover it for yourself. But I'm more than happy to talk about the characters and their backstories and all that good stuff. Thank you so much, GJ. Really appreciate it. Logan, thank you as well. SDA, thank you. Blue Teddy Narrations, thanks for the stream. Have a lovely night, everyone. Yeah, you too. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. And man, oh man, exciting times. Exciting times. The weeks ahead are going to be full of fun. And I'll be back again soon to talk about even more of this. Tuesday, I'm going to have Statistical Zero. There he is in the chat, right? You're going to have him on the show at 1 o'clock Eastern. And then I'm going to have another guest. Man, let me look at the calendar. Oh, yeah, how could I forget? Wednesday the 14th is going to be Billy Tucci. I'm going to have Billy Tucci on. I don't know. I can't see the calendar from here. It's going to be on at either 8 or 9. I'll let you guys know on Tuesday. And then Thursday and Friday, I got other people on too. It's a packed week. It's a packed week. So I'm trying to schedule some kind of streaming every day if I can help it. If not, a pre-recorded video or so. But June is a packed month. And I can't wait to talk to Stato on Tuesday. Again, 1 o'clock Eastern. Join us there. We'll talk about anything and everything. Thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. And everybody have a wonderful night. Thank you for your support on the first 4 issues of King Cryptid. Hope you guys read them, enjoy them, love them. And we got a lot of stories to tell. So we'll be back again very soon for issues 5 to 9 launching July 1st. Thank you guys. Have a wonderful evening, and I will see you soon. I'm going to close out the show with one trailer, and here it is.
Hey, you, sci-fi fan. Are you finally ready to have your head explode? Never before seen sci-fi action. A strange new world. Exotic technology. Kick-ass characters. And a story that will turn your mind inside out. Nephilim Squadron, Volume 1. Available now on Indiegogo.